பட போச்சே.
ஹலோ
ஐடா
வந்துட்டான்டா. போன வாரம் வரல, சந்தோஷமா இருந்தோம்.
நீ அதுக்கு முந்தின வாரம் வரல, சந்தோஷமா இருந்தோம்.
எஸ்
நீங்க 2 பேரும் அடிக்கடி லீவ் போட்டுருக்கீங்கடா.
நாட் அடிக்கடி.
ஐ அம் அவுட் ஆஃப் நெசசிட்டி.
இரு பாயிண்ட் கரெக்டா முடிச்சாடா.
யாரா நானா?
ரொம்ப பேசினேன். ப்ரூஸ் அட்டு நீ ஹம் பண்ண வச்சிருவேன்.
பூமி
பரத் வந்து ஒரு இஸ் கிவிங் ஆஃப் வெரி சீரியல் கில்லர் வைப்ஸ்னு சொல்லலாம் வித் திஸ் லாஃப். அதான் இன்னைக்கு நாங்க பேசுற போற டாபிக்.
ஆனஸ்ட்லி பாரஃபை பார்த்தா சீரியல் கில்லர் மாதிரி இல்லை.
நான் சிரிக்கிற கில்லரடா. சிரிப்பிலையே.
ஷரீஃப் எஸ் சைக்கோ.
I am the calculative killer டா.
அவன் செருப்பு சைக்கோடா. செருப்பால ஆளுங்களை அடிப்பான், செருப்புக்கு சாக்ஸ் போடுவான். அவரு வேற லெவல்.
அவனுக்கு செருப்புக்கு என்னமோ.
I am the செருப்பு destroyer.
So welcome back to another episode of Vada Poche. Reaching episode 100. Just a quick note to all of you.
We have planned a special episode for episode 100. So don't miss it.
What is the episode?
Huh? Episode 100. Adha episode. Like you know, Bigil illati Beast illati 100 days cinema la odradhu vandu give some kind of ceremony, right? Yeah, இதே தான்.
ஸோ நமக்கு மாலை பண்ணணும்னு நீங்கள் நினச்சிங்கன்னா நான் அட்ரஸ் தரேன், எனக்கு மெசேஜ் பண்ணிடுங்க. ஸோ இந்த வாரம் வந்து நம்ம சீரியல் கில்லர்ஸ் இல்லை ஃபேமஸ் மர்டர்ஸ் அதை பற்றி நம்ம பேச போகிறோம். சம்திங் தட்ஸ் ட்ரூ கிரைம் பாட்காஸ்ட்னு சொல்லலாம் இந்த வாரம். ஸோ யா, யூ ஆல் ரெடி டு டிஸ்கஸ் அபவுட் இட்?
Ready, let's jump into it da.
Before we jump into it,
let's take a stab at it.
In our group.
Hey, fuck you.
In our group, நம்ம groupல who is the most likely person to be a killer?
I would say
the four of us.
Yeah, I would say you, Barf. You know why? You know why? Because usually in the mari kola padravanga is the person you least suspect.
So, yeah, correct.
So is you. But obvious answer would be Jawar.
I was expecting something like this. It was just matter of time.
நான் செருப்பால கொலை அடிப்பேன். லைக் சாக்கு பூத் வச்சு யூஸ் அது மடு வெப்பன்.
கான்டாக்ட் இல்லனா ஒரு ஃபுட்பால்
பிட்ச்ல வந்து நீங்க பாருங்க.
No, because எப்போதும் கேம் விளையாடும்போது அவன் கொஞ்சம் உணர்ச்சி வசப்பட்டா அவன் தான் ரொம்ப உணர்ச்சி வசப்படுவான் ஏதாவது ஒரு சம்பவம் நடந்தா compared to the rest of us. So obvious answer will be Jawar. ஆனா இந்த மாதிரி மக்கள் யூஸ்வலி அதை வெளி விடுறதுனால they don't go to the extent of killing. ஆனால் பாரஃப் மாதிரி ஆள் எல்லாத்தையும் உள்ள யோசிச்சு வச்சுக்கிட்டு உள்ள புதைச்சிக்கிட்டு ரொம்ப நல்லவங்க வெளில பேர் வாங்குறது ஒரு
கொடுத்து சரி பண்ணிடுவான்.
இந்த மாதிரி பேர் தான் உள்ள எல்லாம் சர்ப்ரைஸ் பண்ணி திடீர்னு வெளியே கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ண முடியாம ஒரு end up killing.
பிரியாணியில வந்து மயக்க மருந்து வச்சுட்டு நல்லா கலக்கிட்டு இதை சாப்பிடுங்க, நல்லா சாப்பிடுங்க.
I promise.
Victim வந்து வாங்கி கெடுப்பா.
I make a promise. I will never kill a person. அது ஒண்ணு. But I'll never use biryani as a weapon. நல்ல சாப்பாடுடா.
So that's my answer for y'all.
ஷரீஃப்
கிட்டத்தட்ட அதேதான். அதே was the reason you described.
Yeah, I will go with Baraf because you know why not? He always laugh, then he quiet. Then you know when he, especially when we play game, when we call him Baraf, I like sometimes யோசிப்பேன் யாரையோ இன்னைக்கு போடுறதுக்கு பிளானிங்ல இருக்கா. பட் யாரா இருக்கும் நம்ம குரூப்ல நானும் இவா கொஞ்சம் சே பாக்கி இருக்க ரெண்டு பிளேயர்ஸ்.
What makes you think so?
What?
I tell you why.
Why we say why?
Before he come and approach us, right, there's two things.
Who?
Baraf approach you and me, two things. If he approach us, there's only two places genuinely he can approach us because we is always there. One gym, one வந்து when we meet to play soccer or what. Other than that, if he wants to meet us, he must meet us with a group. புரியுதா?
He approaches to do what, da?
Yeah,
Kill us or kidnap. Kill us or kidnap us.
Oh, so you already determined that he's the கொலகாரன் lah.
Yes, listen.
அதான் பதிலு.
இல்ல கேளு அவன் ஜிம்க்கு வந்தனா அவனே ஏதாச்சும் வெயிட் தூக்கி இன்ஜர்ட் ஆயிருப்பான்.
Right.
Yeah, so that no way is going to kidnap us there. So we escape.
So Jawar என்ன எப்போதும் போல சுத்தி வளைச்சி சொல்ல ட்ரை பண்றானா his nominee is Barath.
Yes. No, I already tell his brother, but I say the least chances of us.
counter point கொடுத்துட்டு நம்ம எல்லாரும் ஒரு சுத்தல் விட்டுட்டு it is Barath.
Wait, everybody point towards Barath, right? So Barath, நீ யாரை சூஸ் பண்ற?
Actually, I would say me also.
Very good. No, but
maybe Yuva actually.
I don't think so. He's the last person.
No. Look at his face.
No.
My face.
அவன் மூஞ்ச பார்த்தா கேவலமா இருக்குடா.
டேய் என் மூஞ்ச பார்த்தா யாரோ 10 பேர் வந்து குத்துற மாதிரி இருக்குடா. ஏன்னா கண்ணெல்லாம் வீங்கி போய் கிடக்குது. What are you talking about?
No, the only reason why you'll murder us is to give us as dog food to Bruce.
No. Listen.
My dog is a better food than daddy.
No, you are underestimating Bruce da. He has a deep regard for Sharif.
Right.
நேர்களை ஒரு counter check. Yuva நீ அத சொல்றியா please?
Of course. So recently எல்லாரும் என் வீட்டுக்கு வந்தாங்க. Then ஸோ நாய் பேர் வந்து ப்ரூஸ். இது திடீர்னு இது வந்து பல மாதங்களாக ப்ரூஸ் பண்ணாத ஒரு காரியம். திடீர்னு அவன் வந்து ஷரீஃப் அவனுடைய கை இதை வந்து வீடியோஸ் பட போட்டுருவான். சரி கொஞ்சம் டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்ஸ் கொடுக்கணும். ஸோ ஷரீஃபோட கை இப்படி இருந்துச்சு உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு இருந்தான். ரைட். ஸோ அவன் கை இப்படி இருந்துச்சு. No, he was seated on the sofa like that. So
அப்படிலாம் இல்லை.
Then என் நாய் வந்து suddenly just climb onto his hand and just start humping his hand. so அப்பதான் எனக்கு and you know VIP படம் பாத்தீங்களா?
Yes.
So சமுத்திரக்கனி வந்து தனுஷ் வெளியே போகும்போது அவனோட ஹாரி பாட்டரும் தனுஷை ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு வெளியே போகும். ரைட். அவர் வந்து சொல்லுவாரு ஏன்னா இடத்தோட தான் செய்யறோன்னு. நான் இத்துடன் என் கதையை முடித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். நீங்க பேலன்ஸை இன்டர்பிரட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க.
So Bruce எனக்கு எடுத்துட்டான்.
I think it's the other way around. But anyways, my answer would be Yuva because sometimes when you're silent, when you really in that zone, right, you have that.
I know lah. I want to kill you vibe.
Yeah, you have that, you know.
That is when I'm angry, da.
I've seen you. Like, okay. Serial killers, murders பத்தி பேச போறோம். Let's talk about that one murder or that one serial killer. உங்க மைண்டுக்கு என்ன வருது? Like அந்த serial killer.
I got one.
Yes, come on.
That time I had a box of cereal expired and I throw away. Am I considered a serial killer?
The serial killer da.
Okay, but I will seriously answer your question.
Yes.
I will seriously answer your question.
Ambulance வேணுமா?
Dear, I tell you, Yuva, நீ சொன்னது தப்பு இல்லை. I throw my Coco Crunch away da.
இல்ல
and also and another thing is you know when I very stressed also, right, like you talk about serial killer, first thing mind la வரும்போது அம்மா வந்து சன் டிவில பார்க்கும்போது off I'm a serial killer da.
wait எனக்கு இது புரியல.
புரியுது. நாடகம் சீரியல் தமிழ் சீரியல்
off
the TV.
Okay. புரிஞ்சிட்டு.
அவர் அப்படி வராரு.
Yes.
Okay. நான் யோசிக்க வச்சிட்டேன். It's good.
Answer the question.
When I wanted to answer the question, you said something stupid.
சொல்லு.
Stupid மாடு.
Oh, Barath. Okay. புரிஞ்சிட்டு.
I will think of a local serial killer and his name is Adrian Lim.
Local na
who is he?
Yeah, Singapore.
Because I have no idea who you're talking about.
He was involved in this thing called Topayo ritual murder. Okay, Topayo வந்து நம்ம சிங்கப்பூர்ல ஒரு how to say ஒரு district estate. Is it estate or district? Is
estate.
It's estate.
எந்த வருஷத்துல நடந்துச்சு?
It took place in Singapore in 1981. Yes. And on January 25th, the body of a 9-year-old girl was found in a bag. That's how it started.
What the fuck?
Okay, the thing is, the murder வந்து கொஞ்சம் different. He don't murder adults.
பிள்ளைங்களா?
Okay, he kidnapped all the kids who are 9 to I think about 12, 13 தான் max நினைக்கிறேன். அது வந்து not so sure. If you all wiki his name, you all can find out. He will kidnap them and murder. Like நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி இதோட background வந்து because it's a ritual murder. So he used to believe in some superstition. So due to the thing, அவர் வந்து என்னன்னா இந்த young people murder பண்ணி அவங்க ரத்தத்தை வந்து குடிச்சா he gets superpower. And he was at that point he was married to 2 wives also.
Oh, what the fuck?
So the wives also
No, he was married to one. The other one was unofficial, right?
Yeah, unofficial, but apparently some sacred marriage or something like that. And his wife were like, he named them holy wives, and their wife one day will go and hunt these kids, and then they'll bring him. Yeah, so how this thing works is the kids, last time in our 80s, all the kids won't play, don't have all these gadgets and stuff.
Yeah,
they used to play in the playground. So all these ladies will go there, then they will like, Jaman to community, can you all help me and stuff. So these kids are naive but young, so they will end up helping them. A few don't, a few help. Those who help end up into this murder lah. And also he was also considered a medium. So people who approach him, right, what he does is actually, this is for the adults, and the ladies who approached him, he does is he raped them, say that it's a holy cleansing or something,
or whatever
cleansing and stuff. Yeah, then after that he don't murder them, then he just give them whatever so-called is it and the puja jama in English la
பூஜை சாமான் சொல்லிடுறா. பூஜை சாமான் தமிழ் வருது. பூஜை சாமான்
ரேப் பண்ணிட்டு தென் பூஜை ஜாமான்லாம் கொடுத்து நல்லா ஆயிரும் and stuff. So இது எப்படி எனக்கு டிஸ்டிங்டிவாக ஞாபகம் இருக்குன்னா, when I was young, my mom was like telling me not to go out, and she was like teaching me like, don't let people like, don't offer help to யாரையாச்சும் வந்து ஜாமா தூக்குனா செய்யாத, யாராச்சும் ஃப்ரீயாக ஜாமா கொடுத்தா எடுத்துக்காத, எஸ்பெஷலி சாப்பாடு ஜாமா and stuff. And then she was telling புள்ள பிடிச்சிருவான் and all that. And at that point of time you don't understand the context, உனக்கு ஒன்றும் புரியாது. Then as I was getting old, a lot of people used to talk about him when I was like in the primary school, like he was like a very, for the young kids he was like the horror movie in Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
So after that I started doing my research, and that's the time Crime Watch when they wanted to educate. Crime Watch and then number local police drama where they talk about all those crimes which happen in Singapore, and they address how they actually crack the case. So Crime Watch decided to do this murder, the case of him, and I got a more depth of it through Crime Watch. Then I did some YouTube, and so I realized that it's actually very scary what he did, especially to kids, because the kids you don't know anything what. Then I understand why parents say, பார்த்து நடந்துக்கணும் and stuff. Usually it's like normal. வெளியூர் போனா you will tell your kids பக்கத்துல நில்லு, வெளியே போகாத, கண்ணுக்கு எத்தனை தூரம் நில்லு and everything. But when it happens in your own backyard, right, it's something which is to be think about. Right now I don't think it's happening lah, but you may never know, you see.
Interesting. Very, very. I didn't know all this happened in our history. So Jawhar describing it was actually a really interesting story to note. என்னோட எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து இது இட்ஸ் a very famous story. I think everyone will know. இது லண்டன் 19th centuryல நடந்த ஒரு சீரீஸ் ஆஃப் crimes.
19th century
means ஒரு 1800 lah, 1880s. ஸோ இந்த ஆளோட பேர் வந்து ஐடென்டிட்டி தெரியல, பட் அவனுக்கு நிக் நேம் தான் இருக்கு. அவனோட பேர் வந்து ஜாக் த ரிப்பர். Yeah, I think he is famous. I think everyone should know who is he.
Sharif, before you get serious, right?
Yeah.
Before you get serious, if you like this Jack, I mean not say, if you have an interest on our story or particular interest in this, you will like this anime I'm watching, where the gods versus human, and Jack the Ripper will actually fight Hercules. It was very
you don't know
interesting.
who is Jack the Ripper?
In the story he just wears mask and stuff, and they reveal to a certain extent lah, but the whole set was in London and how he happened. The name is Record of Ragnarok. Okay, now you can continue to be serious.
So இவனோட like Google பண்ணி பாத்தீங்கன்னா the Jack the Ripper, how he dresses like is actually pretty scary also. So சில depictionsல வந்து you will see him in like a trench coat, but with a hat that covers head வந்து how he pulls his head down is he will cover his whole face. or top hat, and then he will have a knife in his hand. And the வகையில வந்து they will depict him. So what he has done வந்து he went on a killing spree of several women. Okay. So in the woman வந்து they suspected that they were all sex workers lah. Right. Okay. So like we so என்ன பண்ணிருக்குன்னா like Jack the Ripper. So what he'll do, this woman வந்து is suspected that he has book an appointment with them for the night. So what he will do is the next morning and the woman will be found dead in a room or whatever. So எப்படின்னா அந்த the body of the woman, okay, all this will be very graphic, so I advise listener discretion. So in the body வந்து it will be severely mutilated. And எப்படி அந்த police when they come and do the post autopsy, right, they come to the conclusion வந்து whoever Jack the Ripper is, he should be very skilled in doing autopsy. So they speculated he was a doctor or he was a butcher.
Surgeon. Okay.
Surgeon or butcher. Skilled with the knife lah. வெட்டு knife. So அதுக்கு மேல வந்து what he has done வந்து he has the community and to the police he has taunted them by sending letters outlining what he has done and all that lah. So down the years வந்து I can't expand more on this because there's so little based on his identity and it's a lot on speculation.
Did he get arrested? No, right?
We don't know. No one knew who it is until now. So it's very interesting. So either there's a lot of I don't know if I can't remember any movies being depicted on him, but yeah, it's interesting.
Do you agree that back is due to the technology not being very enhanced?
Yeah,
that is why they couldn't crack the case.
Yeah, probably so lah. And that time no Face ID.
I also believe, right, இப்போ நான் சொன்ன கதைக்கு வந்து crack ஆனதுக்கு ஒரு காரணம் வந்து because it's our country's size. Because Singapore வந்து actually one of the நீ world mapலயே பார்த்தா ஒரு dot தான் இருக்கும். So நீ எப்படி பார்த்தாலும் it's like there's not much place to run. So I think that was one of the reason why they could crack the case fast lah. He only got caught on his last murder. Before he murdered, they caught him actually. I was very... Did he get... At that part, I'm very grey because I don't know whether the boy he kidnapped to murder on the last got murdered, then he got caught on the time or before just nice I got... That part I'm not so sure. I can't remember.
Even if you see the documentaries on Jack the Ripper, there's not a lot of information on him. There's really a lot of speculation. I'm not sure.
I remember there was one in UK.
Wait, isn't Jack the Ripper UK?
இல்ல அந்த 18th century ஒன்னு இப்ப 19 Netflixல பார்த்த ஒரு ஞாபகம்.
No, Jack the Ripper happened in UK only da.
Actually, I just realized DC they released the animated movie with Batman with Jack the Ripper.
Oh, I watched. It's nice.
Batman Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice.
I forgot it existed. So yeah.
இல்ல Jack the Ripper வந்து I'm just googling it. Jack the Ripper வந்து 18th centuryல ஒன்னு. இன்னொன்னு வந்து this fella Jack the Ripper copycat. It took place in West Yorkshire and Manchester between 1975 and 1980 by a serial killer called Peter William. அவர் லாஸ்ட் நேம் எனக்கு வரல வாயில. இந்த சீரிஸ் எனக்கு பார்த்த ஞாபகம்.
Netflix, right?
Netflix, The Ripper. If I'm not wrong, he based this.
Yorkshire Ripper, okay.
இவர் வந்து he based it on the Jack the Ripper.
So அவ்வளோ ஒரு இன்ஃப்ளூயன்ஸ் இருக்கு this Jack the Ripper.
Exactly. This guy's got influence in that sense. Like the copycat killers னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஏன்னா இந்த Mind Hunter னு ஒரு சீரிஸ் பார்த்தேன். அதுல தான் இந்த இதெல்லாம் like கத்துக்கிட்டேன்.
Did he also kill the same, like his approach was the same as the original?
He murdered
women's lah.
Sex workers. Targeted sex workers. Yeah. That's nasty. It's
nasty, man. Yeah. Right, but what is your what did you discover?
So நானும் வந்து இந்த murder serial killer எனக்கு சொன்னாக்கா எனக்கு one thing only sticks out in my mind, and the Singapore case, and it's something very close to my heart. Why it's very close to my heart is because the murder's name is called curry murder. Like,
I know. I know. After that, I couldn't eat curry for.
I am not joking. When I saw this, right, I actually like think twice before eating curry.
Oh, I think they showed in Crime Watch or some.
Exactly. I'm not sure they show. I actually thought twice before eating. Yeah. So it completely affected me. Like, you know, oh, what the fuck, man. So என்ன ஆச்சுன்னா இது வந்து 1984 நடந்துச்சுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். I'll just read. இது வந்து ஆர்ச்சர்ட்ல, சிங்கப்பூர்ல ஆர்ச்சர்ட்ல இருக்கிற ஒரு சர்ச்ல வேலை செஞ்சுக்கிட்டு இருந்தாரு ஒருத்தர். அவர் அந்த சர்ச்சுக்கு பின்னாடி அவங்க வீடு இருந்துச்சு, சரியா? ஸோ ஹி வாஸ் மர்டர்ட். திஸ் காய் வாஸ் மர்டர்ட்.
ஐயா கண்ணு மாரிமுத்து.
எஸ், ஹி வாஸ் மர்டர்ட் இன் 1984. அவங்களோட மனைவி வந்து filed a missing report first, missing person report. Yeah,
MPRல.
Yeah. So in the name of Genting போனாரு, யாரும் என்ன திரும்பி பார்க்கல. போலீஸ் இன்வெஸ்டிகேட் பண்ணதுல they arrested 6 people, right? And her brothers, her sister and everything. 6 people or 4 people, okay? And what happened after that is nobody got charged. Nobody got charged because it's speculated that அவரை வந்து கொலை பண்ணிட்டு கறியில வந்து சமைச்சிட்டு தூக்கி வீசிட்டாங்க.
Yeah.
So I
remember the imagery even. Once you said curry killer, the image from the crime watch scene came to my mind.
So it was a bit, you know, I'm not giving the full information because it's very graphical.
Graphic,
உங்களுக்கு அந்த இது தெரியணும்னா சிங்கப்பூர்ல இருந்து NLB இன்ஃபோபீடியான்னு இருக்கு. கரி மர்டன் ட்ரெண்டிங்னா அங்க போய் நீங்க அந்த ஃபுல் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் படிக்கலாம். It is quite gory in my opinion. It left definitely a scar in me for quite some time because I didn't eat curry. I was quite careful of eating curry during that period.
It's terrible.
And yeah, it was one of the most interesting, I won't say interesting, but it's like WTF. Nobody got, till today nobody, யாரும் charge பண்ணல, அவரை கண்டுபிடிக்கவும் இல்லை.
Because they took the curry and they tried to find but couldn't because all got
throw away, disposed already. So no body was found, nobody was charged, nothing.
So how did they find out I was in a curry?
I think there was an informant story by according to this.
The probably or
in Crime Watch that's what they said lah.
Maybe he did it because the curry smell will mask the blood smell or something like that lah.
Something like that.
ஒன்று ரியலைஸ் பண்ணியா, நான் சொன்ன மர்டர் வந்து 1981 நடந்துச்சு. 3 வருஷம் கழிச்சு, just 3 years later, what Barav is telling happened. No, it's not a big time, but you know, to already Singapore is already so called on alert such a thing happened, and then so fast another thing happened. Wow, it's actually kind of scary to be honest.
Actually இந்த 2 வார்த்தை இருக்கு, சிங்கப்பூர் and serial killers. 3 வார்த்தை actually technically. Someone like us, people like us, we can't really associate those 3 words. I mean those 2 sets of words together. Because நாங்க வாழ்ந்த சிங்கப்பூர்ல வந்து it was a very safe, a very good place to grow up in ன்னு சொல்லலாம். And to hear stories like this வந்து it does unsettle you a bit.
But that's why our as Singapore police government also say what no crime mean that no low crime means no crime. அர்த்தம் இல்லை அந்த மாதிரி.
I mean it contributes, what contributes ஜாவன் சொன்ன மாதிரி நம்ம நாடு வந்து ஒரு சின்ன நாடு. ஸோ அந்த 1984 வந்து டெக்னாலஜி அவ்வளோ அட்வான்ஸ் இல்லை compared to what it is now. So the smaller we are, the more advanced in technology we are, the easier it is to counter crimes.
Exactly.
So therefore no crimes இல்லை, low crimes yes, but
no
yeah, that's why I say
they say low crime doesn't mean no crime.
And that's why I just said.
So
doesn't mean
but we are still, I think, more efficient in my opinion.
I understand. Yeah.
And to answer your question, you are and the informant தான் இந்த மாதிரி they interviewed 30 people and all gave like a similar story. ஏன்னா one of the brothers is a ஆட்டுக்கடை butcher and then இன்னொருத்தவங்க இது cook அந்த மாதிரி. So they try to link up the story from there. So that's what I read last time.
I see.
Actually இப்போ இன்னொன்று this murder திடீர்னு என் மைண்டில் வந்துச்சு. ஏன்னா this one is actually நீங்கள் 3 பேரும் இப்போ ஷாக் ஆக வேண்டிய விஷயம். ஏன்னா when my mother bought this house, no one told her anything. After we shift into this house in the year of 2010. So this thing happened in the year of 2008. apparently the block opposite my house had a 3-person murder.
நீ சொல்லவே இல்லையா நீ?
Yes, it just came to my head. Okay, so this foreign worker he murdered the wife, the kid, and this one he pushed the kid out of the window, and all my neighbors were here when this happened, so they know the whole story, and it's in Straight Times also. Man murder lover, her daughter, and flatmate after quarrel over money for crab. He started with a crab because he so-called never buy a good crab.
What the
Then
fuck, bro?
He
got yeah.
It doesn't add well to the name of Ishunda. Just to
Yeah.
start off.
They decent 2000.
Remember our Halloween episode? Jawad was talking about how supernatural his place is.
Yeah, might be. I mean,
Might be.
yeah.
Who knows?
I'm never going to your house. Fuck that.
I mean, it just came to my head. Yeah, I started like, இது சொல்லவே இல்லையா அவனுக்கிட்ட ஒன்னும். Yeah, it's the thing is, அவன் agree with அவன காரணம் வந்து kind of stupid. அவன் crab வாங்கிட்டு வந்திருக்கான். அந்த crab வந்து அவன் மட்டமா பேசியிருக்கா. Like he bought like wet market stuff and she told bad things about it. Never appreciate. He felt underappreciated. Then he was like, I think he had a mental breakdown. So he took the so-called chopper, chop them, throw one person out the window, then kill the flatmate and stuff. So and he got it. And the thing is, he immediately wanted to run away, but by then he got arrested lah. But everything was too fast.
Your story, Macha.
He's not going to make you feel any better if he's in consideration.
It's okay.
There's a reason why I wanted to go last.
Right, I'm done with the episode. Bye.
So,
it's okay.
no, but my one you should be aware it is from Mindhunter one. But இது வந்து சிங்கப்பூர்ல நடக்கல.
Okay, as long not an issue, I'm happy. Okay.
No. சிங்கப்பூர்ல இல்ல. இது வந்து USல நடந்தது. But okay, so before I tell my story, for people who get like uncomfortable listening to these sort of stories, I suggest you stop now first. Okay, so now I'll just continue because it involves a little bit of like
gory.
It's very graphic lah. Okay, I mean if you watch Mindhunter, you know already lah.
I think I know what you're talking about. I'll just.
Okay, so there's this guy called Ed Kemper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Fuck
Kemper.
that, bro.
So in the Netflix la Mindhunter ஒரு show இருக்கும், right? They talk about நிறைய murder cases all that, but in the Ed Kemper ஓட murders தான் I found it very disturbing amongst the rest of the disturbing cases. ஏன்னா number one, okay, before I tell you info about some of the things he did, one thing I can tell you is this guy has genius level IQ.
What?
He has genius level IQ, like 145 or something.
So he knows how to.
His IQ is ridiculously high. He's like literally superior. Okay. But then he grew up. He had a troubled childhood. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't tell about all the murders, but the notable ones that stuck out to me, right? Number one was his grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So he grew up with his grandparents. Mother abuse தாங்க முடியாம, if I'm right, he grew up take this part with a pinch of salt. I'm not sure how accurate lah, but if I'm right, he couldn't get along with his mother, so he ended up living with his grandparents. அப்புறம் grandparents கிட்ட போய் வாழ்ந்த பிறகும் it was the same shit he got with his mothers. So one time when his grandfather went out, he decided to kill his grandmother because the grandmother was like he cannot tahan the torture already, so he killed her. And then when the grandfather was coming back home, he killed the grandfather also. The reason why he killed the grandfather, he didn't want him to see his grandmother dead. And then in an interview later, he told that he just murdered his grandmother because he was curious to know what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get arrested after killing them?
He confessed. And then he went to a correctional facility.
Okay.
And then after a while, he came back to live with his mother.
So he got released.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he got released. Then this is the part where it gets a little bit tricky lah. There were a few murders before this, but the final murder was the one where he murdered his mother.
He made love to his mother as well.
Let me tell. So he couldn't tahan the mother's abuse already. So one time when she's sleeping, he just bashed her head in with a hammer or something. Wait, let me go back to the case.
Hammer la.
No, wait. Let me go to the article. I actually have the tab open to read.
This is just bloody very disturbing to hear.
You never watch Mindhunter?
I
wasn't
never
in
watch
the-
it.
I
want to go watch.
Yeah. That's
I want to go
what
watch
I'm
today.
saying. So what he did was when his mother was sleeping, he used a claw hammer and beat her to death with it. And then let me just read the article word for word. Okay, so this part is a bit disturbing. So if you're uncomfortable, just tune off. Okay, I'll read word for word. So English la varum. Okay. Kemper bludgeoned his mother to death with a claw hammer while she was sleeping. He then decapitated her and raped her head several times.
That's the part.
Meaning he cut her head off and used her head to give himself a blowjob.
That's the part.
Yeah.
That is the part.
And then he put it on a wall and used it as a dartboard. And he also screamed at her head for 1 hour straight. And then he cut her tongue and her throat and then put it in a garbage disposal. But then the garbage disposal couldn't break the tissue up and spit the remains back into the sink. And then he quoted this and said, that seemed appropriate as much as she'd bitched and screamed and yelled at me over so many years. Meaning even the garbage disposal cannot tahan the tondela. Then so that was one thing. And then so but the decapitating part was the one that really fucked me up lah. Then the thing about, there was one more thing. There was in between his grandparents' murders and his mother's murder, right? He did a few other murders in between. Apparently he decapitated one of the person's head, right, and put in the வீடு gardenல, and he make the head face the mother's room. He said he found that poetic because his mother always wanted people to look up to her.
Yeah.
No, he murdered someone after his mother.
Yeah, the mother's friend.
Mother's friend. Now that was.
Yeah. So
which city was this in
Colorado, I think.
Colorado. Denver,
No,
Colorado.
I'm not sure exactly where. எங்க exactly தெரியல.
Bourbon, California.
California.
But the scary thing about this, right, is number one, the guy's IQ. Meaning இதெல்லாம் செய்யறது தெரிஞ்சே செய்யறான். And when you see his interviews, he really sounds like a very intellectual guy, no? I've seen some of his interviews. He really sound very like, and ரொம்ப யோசிச்சு பேசுற ஒரு ஆளு மாதிரி தெரியுறான்.
Like he knows how to handle the situation very well lah during.
No, but he didn't deny anything. He confessed everything, but the way he speaks is so calm, collected.
Wow.
So and then this guy's size, he's huge lah.
2.6 meters, his height.
Yeah.
What the?
Is it Mindhunters season 1 episode 2?
I don't know, but you go watch Mindhunter. I don't
only
remember.
saw
It was the
one
first
episode.
season lah.
First season.
Yeah, it's.
But I mean, it's scary lah, this case. And then நிறைய cases இருக்கு lah. If you all are interested, this case, go read up about like, I think Jeffrey Dahmer,
Ted Bundy, the famous one.
Ted Bundy is famous.
Jeffrey Dahmer, in my opinion, is more like scary lah.
Ted Bundy isn't. I don't feel he's scary. He was like more like a story, like சும்மா ரிலாக்ஸ் ஆன ஆள் மாதிரி.
It's ultimate deception lah, because அவனை பார்த்தா people thought he was a lawyer and all that, and like very like future going to be like politician மாதிரி, that people thought of him that way because of the way he carry himself, the way he talk, all that.
இங்க யாராச்சும் okay, so sorry,
go ahead.
இல்ல இங்க யாராச்சும் வந்து Zodiac killer பத்தி கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்க?
Yeah, I got. Until now open case, right?
So I don't know much. That's why I was thinking someone here can educate me what is exactly the Zodiac killer.
Edmund Kemper is still alive, sir.
Yeah.
And he requested for death penalty, and apparently capital punishment was suspended in California at that time. So instead of that, they gave him 8 concurrent life sentence. And he's 73 now.
Yeah, Zodiac killer. This guy, I don't know. அவன் வந்து he did murders and then he wrote to journalists.
He wrote to police as well. Media, correct. அது அந்த அயன்மேன் பேர் என்ன சே மறந்துட்டேன்.
Robert Downey Jr. lah.
Tony Stark da.
He is the one who acted in the movie.
Yeah, no, he and Jake Gyllenhaal lah.
I just recently saw the movie.
Didn't know, man. Like why I brought him up is because I heard he's one of the most famous serial killers of all time. அதுக்கு not beside that, in the Batman movie வந்து the Riddler villain வர Riddler வந்து is somehow inspired by this Zodiac killer as well. I just wanted to ask you all if you all know, because and do share what you all know about him.
All I know is it's an open case. Until now, they never find any culprit. And I wonder when he murdered all that, he wrote directly to the police and to journalists and all that. So he'll the letter la newspaper la vandirukku and all that la. So it was, and he did like the Batman படத்துல மாதிரி la, like riddles and all that for people to guess. So on the level they did la, but the scary thing is all these open cases la, யாரையும் கண்டுபிடிக்கல. So we really don't know like அந்த ஆளுக்கு like என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான், what he's doing, all that is like quite a scary thought la.
Understand.
Yeah, but I mean in the episode like it's a very in a way twisted episode with regards to நம்ம சொன்ன stories. And நான் வந்து there is one show that I watched. It stopped running already lah. So but there was a quote in this show that I watched, right, that stuck out to me until now. I watched in secondary school this episode. So the show பேர் வந்து Supernatural. So on the show வந்து they deal with like maybe ghosts, vampire, all those stuff. And so another episode by episode they'll be having a different case to solve lah. So one of the season la ஒரு episode like they were dealing with cannibals.
Okay.
And then these people who are hunting all these like monsters, all that, they call hunters lah basically. So and the hunter சொல்லுவான், his quote was directly quote unquote he said, monsters and ghosts I can deal with, man, but humans I can't. Because monsters and ghosts you know that they are monsters and ghosts, their intention is to do these things, but மனுஷனுக்கு மனுஷன் இந்த மாதிரி பண்றது is
we are capable of great things at the same time of equally terrible things.
There's Neil Armstrong, then there's also Ed Kemp.
Yeah.
Fuck no, it's the mother thing I cannot. The
after
the
no. Yeah, that was fucked up.
Making love to it was where I lost it.
That's where I lost it also now.
I mean, you're the only one who say making love lah, but
No one will say making love.
I
think it was more
making love requires a context lah. Like
no, but I think it was more like a assertive, like shut your mouth kind of thing.
Yeah.
I understand what he's trying to say. It's not like he didn't have anything. He just want her to shut up and say that like she's beneath him or something like that. I think that's what he was trying to show lah.
Yeah, I
show dominance, like exert dominance lah.
Yeah.
But it's like to get yourself to
Yes.
Yeah. It's a very uneasy story lah.
இப்போ நம்ம அந்த கொலைகளை பத்தி பேசணும், சரியா? Do you all know podcast termsல this is where the fun part comes in. True crimes, crime podcasts, those are the top podcast episodes shows.
I don't get it why. I don't get why.
No, I think are you all aware this, and I quote,
I listen to a lot. Females listen to the crime podcast a lot more. Yeah,
this is a fact.
You know, the true crime podcast I listen to a female host also.
Yeah, this is a fact. This is not gender whatever. This is a fact. And I remember watching a video saying that because they want to know what happens and sort of protect themselves against it. So they listen to those and the kadingala ketete, they sort of like trap themselves. So I found that actually it completely makes sense. But true crime podcasts are one of the most popular podcasts.
Yeah,
I agree.
Sharif was wondering why is it?
Yeah, why?
I wonder. I'm trying to see the connection because personally, when I listen to podcasts in this format of this true crime podcast, and it's a bit too the format. I'm not talking about the content. The format,
graphic.
how is the format? It's very bit too like
graphic.
No, how do I say? Too like a news presenter kind of format. The way it's not my kind of content. I want to see an ongoing discussion of whatever that's happening.
And the context வந்து நியூஸ் இதா இருக்கலாம், ஆனா அந்த மிஸ்டரி இப்ப நம்ம கதை சொன்னோம்ல அதெல்லாம் actually nothing.
They are just telling story time.
We just say A B C. அவங்க வந்து they go deep into it. They tell okay இவங்க வந்து இந்த வருஷத்துல இந்த ஆரம்பிச்சு, then they go into the story, they go into the autopsy report. Some of them do lah.
You should listen. Okay, so for true crime podcast, horror podcast, all those the presentation is very good. So அவங்க ஆரம்பத்துல the music that they select, the background music, சில sentences they'll cue certain music, all it really draws you into the story. And அவங்க சொல்ற கதை நம்ம இப்ப டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணது is very surface level. We are not doing a full like true crime deep dive sort of episode. It's a very generic overview about what sticks out to us. அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா they'll go deep inside and ஒரு கதை and they'll try to give as clear a picture as possible about the person doing these acts, and then அந்த கதையை பத்தி சொல்லுவாங்க. So like Sharif, you like to learn about history, right?
Yes.
Same concept.
Okay.
So instead of documenting a series of events per se, they give you as much info about the person while documenting the events. So you get a very holistic view, and the presentation overall draws you in. So there's a lot of components to why you listen to these stories. I mean, not everyone can listen it on a weekly basis, but I ended up listening to one or two out of curiosity, and it was quite good. I liked the way they presented and all that. And very informative also.
I think this you are not veering on topic, but on another spectrum. The way I would prefer listening to podcast is not like a narrative format where they really choose their word. I would really prefer a conversation kind of podcast.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, all these are preferences are subjective.
Yeah.
என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் ரைட் ஆல் தீஸ் ட்ரூ கிரைம் பாட்காஸ்ட் நீ சொன்னிய நான் டாப் ரேங்கில் இருக்குது. அது செய்கிறதுக்கு உனக்கு ஒரு தனி ஒரு தைரியம் வேணும். பிகாஸ் யூ திங்க் அபவுட் இட், just by hearing a decapitated head being raped, right, discusses you. Look at Bharat Vandhiye varudhu.
It's like
it gives you the eerie feeling, right? Yeah. Imagine doing it week in week out and going to the depth of it and what kind of equipment he used to to do all this
equipment.
Amanda decapitate பண்றதுக்கு maybe he used surgical knife, chopper, axe.
Apparently he used a pen knife, by the way. So yeah, இந்த மாதிரி காரணத்துக்காக தான் people listen to this sort of content lah. And I know உனக்கு discussion all that பிடிக்கும். By the end of the day, the reason why so many podcasts are coming up nowadays, வேற விதத்துல வேற formal language law, is because ultimately different people have different preferences. நம்ம 4 பேர்லயும் we have different preferences. எனக்கு இந்த மாதிரி crime podcast பிடிக்கும், உனக்கு discussion based தான் பிடிக்கும். See, in our 4 people sample already got so many variations, what? So, but yeah, to wrap up this episode, சொன்ன மாதிரி நிறைய தடவை சொன்ன மாதிரி is a pretty disturbing stories நம்ம ஷேர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஏஷியாலையும் யூஎஸ்லையும் நடக்கிற சில ஸ்டோரிஸை பற்றி பேசியிருக்கோம். It just goes to show that few minutesக்கு முன்னாடி சொன்ன மாதிரி like மனிதர்கள் capable of very good things and also very bad things, to say the least.
Yeah. Actually, would you use evil instead of bad?
I would say so, yeah.
Because this is more than bad, it's not like defining bad. This is like more evil intention.
He was using the word bad as
to
a
take a life from someone is
evil, cruel, whatever you want to say lah.
But to take a life from someone is really
it's just
next level lah.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you guys நம்ம இந்த எபிசோட் ஒரு காரணத்துக்காக தான் we didn't deep dive into one particular story, and we wanted to talk about it generally. ஏன்னா நம்ம வேற பேருக்கும் நம்ம 4 பேருக்குள்ள we know different stories, and we just wanted to share it across on air rather than discuss it beforehand and then come up with one story. We just wanted to discuss it on air, and நம்ம 4 பேருக்குள்ளே like learn from each other and also let you guys know about what are the different angles we are approaching from with different stories from different places and all that. So உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு ஸ்டோரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா like a very notable case that we may have missed out on, you can feel free to let us know via our social media and all that, and we will research more and அதை பற்றி ஒரு future episodeல ஒரு full episodeாக செஞ்சிருக்கலாம். Or if you guys like this sort of content, இந்த மாதிரி true crime sort of formatல அப்பப்போ ஃபார்மேட் பண்ணி ஒரு ஸ்டே பண்ணி ஒரு once in a while we want us to release these sort of episodes, let us know also, and we will look into producing such content on a more consistent basis. Speaking of, நம்ம வந்து இது வந்து episode 97, right?
97.
Yeah. So this is our 97th episode, and this is our first, if I know, this is our first crime-based episode.
Out of 97, you know, Molas on a true crime is very popular, but 97 episodes, this is the first time we're doing that.
So, I mean, that goes to show that for us also, right, we have a lot more topics to cover, a lot more genres to discover and educate ourselves as well as our audience at the same time. So 97 milestone, we are approaching a huge milestone, episode number 100. So Sharif ஆரம்பத்திலே சொன்ன மாதிரி episode 100க்கு we are planning something a little bit special and different. அது வந்து exact details இப்போ சொல்ல மாட்டோம், அது ஒரு சர்ப்ரைஸா ஒரு few weeks later சொல்லிட்டு இருப்போம். So once in a while we will be releasing stuff on our social media for some engagement and feedback from the நம்மளோட fans நேர்களான நீங்க. So அந்த ஸ்டோரிஸ் இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் ஸ்டோரிஸ் இல்லாட்டி டிக்டாக்ல இருந்தால் ஏதாவது ஃபீட்பேக் இருந்தால் we'll have some questions there. Feel free to let us know and we will be gradually building up towards our 100th episode. We still got 98, 99, 3 more weeks, 3 more episodes to go. So stay tuned, watch this space as we build up towards our landmark milestone episode. Thank you for all your support so far and we hope to have you with us for the rest of the way.
டேய் லேண்ட்மார்க் வந்து இதுல இருக்குடா.
அட போச்சே.